For a couple of years, I belonged to Mid-Coast Community Chorus in Camden, Maine. It was a no tryout sort of chorus, made up of about 150 singers. They believe the voice is the sound of the soul. All voices deserve to be heard, and singing together builds community. If you paid your dues to help defray the cost of membership, the chorus director, accompanist, music, rental practice space, and the performance hall, and you agreed with the mission and vision of the chorus, you were in. It was a great experience for someone who loves to sing and is enthusiastic, but not totally aligned with the notes on the page, making it a little difficult to belong to some other choruses where rigorous tryouts occur. The chorus, however, was not an anything goes sort of place. The director at the time, Mimi Bornstein, described the chorus's version of covenant this way: if the person next to you is singing off key, gently lean over and sing with them to help them find the right note. We were all responsible for this. Covenants help to hold space that welcomes and celebrates and tenderly holds us in dependence together. The chorus has weathered changes in music directors, board members, and singers, keeping its focus on mission and vision energizes them. Not all choirs I've belonged to have 150 members, though. During my time as a hospice chaplain on a rainy Wednesday morning, I park my car in the parking lot at one of the memory care facilities that I regularly visit. Pam's at the desk as usual, and she greets me with a smile. "Good morning." She probably does this with everyone, but it feels like she's talking to me specifically, and I feel welcomed. I make my way to one of the 3 units that I cover. Now it's down the stairs, through the corner, and across the threshold through the door. As I cross the doorway, the door locks behind me. I join a table of women who could be gathered at a local coffee shop, but they aren't. Each has experienced some sort of cognitive shift that's required that they live in a 24-hour care facility. Some folks on the unit can still feed and dress themselves and recognize their family, and others cannot. I join the table, sitting next to my patient who has difficulty responding to questions and carrying on a conversation. She requires help with the basics of her day and sits in the wheelchair at the table looking down. Some days, I share stories from her life that I've learned from her daughter about her earlier years, and other times I sit in silence accompanying her in her day. This day, however, maybe because I was tired of the dreary rain, I felt like singing. We have a common faith, which is just a little bit of a joy to run across another Unitarian Universalist. And I start singing a few bars of Over My Head, asking if she remembers. She doesn't. I try again, thinking perhaps it's my rendition, or maybe she doesn't know it or know it anymore. No response. I try singing This Little Light of Mine in a low volume next to her, not to bother the other 4 women at the table. She begins shaping the words with her lips. although her voice is low and it's difficult to hear the sound. By the end of the song, I hear 4 other voices joining us. And soon we're a table of 6 women singing together. This Little Light of Mine, I sing off key, and a few of them do too. And we're having a great time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We sing the song a few more times, and by then we sound like the memory care choir to me. And for that moment, there was connection, joy, and we were in dependence together. I wonder if my patient heard her song this day. Singing touches a place in my soul that's difficult to describe. I often feel as though I have been in the presence of the sacred. We all belonged to that moment together. Writers and ecological stewards Vandana Shiva and Robin Wall Kimmerer share that to be among the living, to be life, means to be in dependence, always and forever. Relationships can be moments as they are on a memory care unit, or they can be ongoing like this congregation, rooted in love with long histories of evolution, changes, and growth. Belonging is described by Greater Good magazine, a science-based place for insights for a meaningful life this way: when we are understood, recognized, and affirmed by friends, family members, partners, colleagues, and even strangers. We feel we belong to a community. Results from some studies, as well as end-of-life conversations, indicate that many people count their relationships as the most meaningful part of their lives, even when those relationships are difficult or strained. Our first hymn describes for us our aspirations. Come, come, whoever you are. The line left out of our hymnal, however, from that song is, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times, nodding to the recognition of our common humanity. Covenants, the leaning over to encourage, it goes like this. Helps create a safe space of belonging. UUCC has committed to creating this kind of space together. Just a year ago, the Reverend Paul Langston Daly worked with this congregation on restoration and healing. And out of that work, the congregation continued by creating the following covenant. UUCC's covenant was approved by the congregation at the annual meeting on June 5th, 2023, and it states, to manifest our vision, implement our mission, and increase our understanding and practice of our UU principles, we, the congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Augusta, Maine, covenants as follows. 1, because we value our relationships with each other, we promise to get to know one another, create opportunities to gather, work, and play together, and build trust in our relationships. Respect each other's boundaries, honor our commitments to others and the community, and protect the safety of community members, especially children. Listen to one another with intention and curiosity and respond thoughtfully. Accept one another for who we are and not allow our differences of opinion to affect our respect for the person. Take responsibility for our own words and actions and explore differences openly, directly, and with compassion while assuming the good intentions of one another. 2, because we value our relationships with our greater community, we promise to model our UU principles and covenant in our relationships with the greater community. Respond to the needs of our community and seek to engage with others in helping to make the greater Augusta area a safe and supportive place. And 3, because we value the wisdom and power of covenant, we promise to forgive ourselves and others when we do not live up to this covenant and begin again in love. Display and recite these promises to each other on a regular basis. I've been here since August. I thought it was time we brought them to worship. Exploring them in our hearts and minds and refer to them when difficulties arise. Recognize that our covenant may evolve as our community evolves. Just as it was with the chorus, it is all of our responsibility with any covenant to lean over and share. It goes like this. Reverend Paul Langston Daly will be coming back to this pulpit October 29th, the last Sunday in October, to offer a good word about covenant, where are we now, and to facilitate a discussion with anyone who's here who'd like to participate in that following the service. At this time in history, when we are witness to ongoing oppression and violence, Unitarian Universalism has a life-transforming song to sing to the world. This congregation has literally and metaphorically been singing its song of hope and belonging, along with a dose of creative imagination for years. Keep singing your song. Welcome your whole selves to this space. The world needs us to sing our song.